Hello everyone, welcome back. Severed is here, coming back with part 9 of What If Deku Had Word Soul Magic. Now, before I get right to it, guys, right now, I have opened a new channel. Good for me, I guess. It's gonna be about other things other than what ifs, like anime, cartoon, explaining videos, some powers and abilities, and some other ideas that I have in mind. So I still, the channel doesn't have any videos still, but eventually I'm gonna upload on it. So go subscribe to my second channel. It's called Severed Explains. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description. Oh my kidding, I can barely keep a regular schedule on one channel, let alone a second. Anyway, beside me being absolutely negative, let's just get right into the videos, shall we? As as in the last part, Izuku and the rest of class 1A were traveling into with the bus until they arrived at the forest in the training camp. Before they stop on the side of the road, the normal thing happened. The Wild Pussycats gets introduced, they all just do their thing, and after that, Pixie Bob just caused everybody to just fall from the top. Everybody lands on the ground, after which, the difference here is that Bakugo immediately rushes forward, leaving everybody behind, while Midoriya just telling him, "Wait, Bakugo, where are you?" As Kirishima said, "Hey, Bakugo, bro!" As Bug just goes alone through the forest, saying in his mind, "I'm not gonna let him take this one from me too." As the rest of the students, well, they work together, thanks to Midoriya's mana sensing and some other abilities that he have with his commands, beside the help of Neuro literally telling them where to go and which direction, which really gets some of the students weirded out. How the hell does that bird know where to go? In the end, Midoriya and the rest of the class have managed to make it into the camp in less than an hour. That's cannot be said the same for Baku, because he kinda lost his way and needed another hour to make it, which means that he is 1 hour late from the rest of the class, which just gets him even more angry. After which, the class just do their thing. They eat dinner and blah blah blah. Things happen. And the next day, Class 1B also comes, and everybody just do their work. After which, in the morning, Aizawa wake them up. He give Baku a ball to throw it to show how much he got stronger, which is barely. So they start training, everybody training Baku on his explosions, Shinso training on mind controlling and other things. Midoriya's training is, the point of his training is to awaken his quirk so he can use his commands on other people, specifically the healing command. So, to help him with that, Aizawa had two ways to help him. One, give him a dictionary with many different words so he can use his commands, because each command can be used. It's only the way that you said it makes the difference. So for example, when you say vacuum wall, it's caused somebody to get a gravity pressure above them, pushing them into the floor. At the same time, saying be crushed does the same exact thing, but it's two different words for the same command. The second way that he's trying to help him is by teaching him different languages. Mexican, European, and anything else, really, because it doesn't have to be Japanese for him to use the words. Any language helps. So that's how Midoriya training. And sometimes, of course, he uses healing command on plants, which for the next 2 days, it didn't help at all. It just kept not working. Until Midoriya right now sitting on a table after they cooked their dinner, and Izuku just staring into his food with Nero on his head. A bit sad because he still, even after so much training, he couldn't even heal a plant. How is he gonna heal Todoroki or Ida's brother in that situation? And while he's sitting down, Nero is eating some of the food, while Izuku said, "I guess you can have it. I'm not really hungry." Somebody comes and sits in front of Midoriya. As he said, "Can I come in?" As Izuku said, Yeah, you can have a seat." As Izuku looks to see it's Tokuyami, as Tokuyami sit down and start eating. While he's eating, he said, Are you still training on? As Izuku said, yeah, I'm not able to figure out how to get my power to increase. It just seems like I'm stuck well, on a specific level that I just can't go beyond it. As Tokuyami said, you know, Midoriya, there might be a way. As Izuku said, what do you mean? As Tokuyami said, I'm not sure about it, but I think I know a way for you to gain more power. As Izuku said, really? You know how I could awaken my quirk? As Tokuyami nods his head and said, however, the way may not seem very easy. As Izuku said, I'm not expecting it to be easy, just tell me what should I do. As Tokuyami said, I won't able to tell you that here. You will gonna be creeped out and you won't believe me. So if you want to gain more power, meet me tomorrow in my cave where I train on Dark Shadow. Is that understood? As Izuku said, alright. I'll just gonna tell Mr. Aizawa about this, okay? As Tokuyami said, I don't see a problem with that. So Izuku and Tokuyami kept eating while Izuku asking him what he's planning to do, with Tokuyami not answering him. And while they're eating, Midoriya felt somebody's aura staring at him, as when he looks behind of him, he see on another table from Class 1B, Ibarra just staring at him. But when she realized that Midoriya is staring back, she immediately turned around. As Tokuyami said, is that Ibarra? Isn't she the one that forfeited the match for you in the sport festival? As Izuku said, yeah. As he said, do you two have something? As Izuku said, well, she kinda hates me. As Tokuyami said, well, I guess a lot of people do hate you. As Midoriya said, yeah, thanks, that's really helping me out. Regardless, and the next day, Izuku and Tokuyami walk into Mr. Aizawa, explaining to him that Tokuyami explained that he might have a way to awaken his Midoriya quirk. So Aizawa agrees on that, telling them he doesn't care what they are going to do as long as it doesn't kill them. As well, Tokuyami just takes Midoriya into the cave, as when he enters, Tokuyami starts explaining while drawing circles on the ground. Izuku's just standing by the side with Nero on his head, Izuku saying, so you're saying I'm possessed by a devil? As Tokuyami said, that's right, as Tokuyami just drawing out a circle. As Izuku said, and you're telling me that you're gonna make a ritual to make me connect with my devil so I can talk to him? As Tokuyami said, still on point, while drawing another blue circle inside the red circle. As Izuku said, and I need to convince him to give me more power? As Tokuyami said, exactly. As he just started throwing some salt around, and Izuku said, I mean, I always thought that you were weird, but this is a bit... As Tokuyami said, much? Tell me, Midoriya, how many times have you ever felt that you weren't yourself? How many times were you sleepwalking? How many times you felt like somebody is whispering in your ears? As Izuku looks down saying, but still, devil-possessed? Don't you think that's pushing it a bit too far? As Tokuyami said, well, if that's pushing it a bit too far, it doesn't hurt to try, does it? If you're not possessed by a devil, this won't work. Right? What else do you have? It's either you can go with my way. I'm not forcing on anything. I'm just trying to help a friend of mine. If you want to do the ritual, I'm gonna continue. But if you don't want to, you can go back and keep training like the old way you were. As Izuku thinking, if he can train the old-fashioned way, and it might take him weeks, maybe months, and he wants to get Todoroki back in the business as soon as possible, so this is the only way. As Izuku just nods saying, alright, let's do this. As Tokuyami said, good. Alright, as he lights up the candle saying, the outer circle will keep you in connection with your devil, and it will gonna put you in a temporary coma. The inner circle The inner circle is a protection spell that will gonna keep your soul from being possessed and taken over. So your body will still belong to you. As Izuku said, okay. As Tokiyami said, now, please close your eyes. As Izuku said, alright. As he closed his eyes before feeling something slapping him on the face, as he see Tokiyami, after opening his eyes, that Tokiyami slapped him with a fish. As Izuku said, ouch! What was that for? As Tokiyami said, okay, now what's the next step? As he just seeing Tokiyami looking this up on the internet, Izuku said, wait, you had taken this ritual off of the internet? As Tokiyami said, well, of course I am. Where else am I supposed to get it? Alright, next step is bring an item that can connect you with your devil. Alright, I think that's easy. Your grimoire seems to do the job. As Izuku said in his mind, I'm start questioning this now. Anyway, as Tokiyami said, alright. When you're ready, put your grimoire in front of you and close your eyes and think about the most darkest moments in your life. As Izuku said, darkest moments? As Tokiyami said, yes. To tell you this, Midoriya. When you go against your devil, try to convince him to give you more power. Is that understood? I don't know how you should do it, just do it. When you're completed, you should be awakened back into the world. If you're not awake after a half an hour or 30 minutes, I'm gonna wake you up by slapping you again with a fish. If anybody interrupts this ritual, you may fall into a deep coma that you'll never wake up from. I'm just trying to tell you all the dangerous stuff. Are you sure you want to do this? As Midoriya nods, and Tokiyami said, of course I will gonna protect you from anybody trying to interfere. As Midoriya closes his eyes and starts thinking of his darkest moments. The fight against Todoroki, the time against Bakugo, and the many other things. The discrimination, the hatred from people's eyes. And suddenly, his body starts engulfing in dark matter. And Tokiyami looks into this, his eyes widening, saying, holy shit, it actually works. As immediately, Izuku falls into the deep darkness of the abyss. And right now, he finds himself in a giant red void. But this time is different. He feels himself. It doesn't feel as if he is falling into a deep black lake. It feels like he is able to finally float above it. As Midoriya right now looking around, until he hears a voice saying,
Well, if it isn't my favorite human puppet, how are you?
As Izuku looks up saying, wait, you're real?
Well, of course I am. It hurts my feelings to see that you forgot about me so easily. But I have to thank you.
As Izuku said, thank me? For what? As the devil said,
For coming back here, because now I finally get my just due.
As he tried to grab Midoriya, but a barrier surrounds Midoriya, an orb. As the devil takes his hand back, saying, as Izuku's in his mind, wait, the barrier? Tokiyami's protection spell. As the devil just chuckles.
Maybe that bird isn't so stupid after all. It's surprising to see that anybody in this world, this era, still knows about forbidden magic.
As Izuku looks into the devil, as he gulps his throat. While on the outside, Tokiyami just playing a game on his phone. As suddenly, while he's playing, somebody attacks Midoriya with vines as he blocks them using Dark Shadow, and when he looks, he sees Ibarra from Class 1B, as immediately he said, I don't know, what are you doing here? As Ibarra said, I'm trying to stop you from whatever you're doing. As Tokiyami said, I can't allow you to touch Midoriya. Please, settle down and we can talk this. As immediately she goes into the attack saying, you're trying to summon a devil. I know what you're trying to do. You don't understand the kind of dangerous games you're playing with. This is no simple thing to do. As Tokiyami said, please stop. We're not trying to summon a devil. I don't want to have to hurt you. If you hurt Midoriya, he'll, as she continued attacking, saying, "No, you stay quiet. I'm not gonna allow you to sell this child's soul into the devil, as he's already deep in the darkness, and you just want to give his body into that creature." As she keeps attacking, trying to stop the ritual, while Togami trying to block her, because if she is to touch Midoriya, he'll gonna fall into a deep coma that he'll never wake up from. But on the inside, the devil just chuckling to Midoriya,
And so, what brings you here today? Did you came here to just see me?
as Izuku gulps his throat, taking a deep breath, as he immediately just said, "Shut up," as the devil is confused. As Izuku said, "I'm not here to chat. I want my rent. You lived for far too long inside my body and you didn't pay me anything. So I want my payment now." As the devil just looks into Midoriya before start chuckling, saying,
You want me to pay you? Right? I owe you nothing, child. If it was my choice, I would take it over your body a long time ago. I would kill you. There is no human in this world that I want to destroy more than you for keeping me stuck inside your mind. Yeah, I owe you nothing, but you would dream if you think I'll be giving you my power.
as Izuku just looks down while the devil said,
At last, you're willing to make a deal.
as Izuku said, "A deal?" As the devil said,
Yes, a deal. I'll give you 10% more of my power in return for 10% of your body.
as Izuku gulps his throat, saying, "My body?" As the devil said,
Enough power to heal your friend. Enough power to get even more stronger. Don't you want strength? Well then, do we have a deal?
as Izuku gulps his throat, saying in his mind, 10% of his power? For 10% of my body? As Izuku looks into the devil, saying, "Will that be enough to heal Todoroki?" As the devil said,
Well, of course it will. Trust me on that one. But beside, what other choice do you have? You could go and train with your old-fashioned way, and it will take a year or two, or you can make a deal right now with me.
as Izuku looks into him before gulping his throat. So he said in his mind, "I need to take it. I can't let Todoroki be in this sour state." As the devil said,
After all, you love him, don't you? You were the one who was thrown in that horrible condition after all.
as Midori just gulps his throat before saying, "Alright, I take your deal." As the devil said,
Perfect. A wise choice indeed. Now stay still. This might sting a little.
as Midori is just being engulfed in darkness, while on the outside, Togami still blocking Ibara, before suddenly Midoriya's body burst into darkness, pushing Togami and Ibara away. As Togami said, "Huh?" As Ibara said, "What have you done?" As Izuku stand up, tall, multiple mouths open on his arm and wing, eye as dark as night with pupil red as blood. His horn is growing even taller and his tail is more sharper than ever. As he looks around while Togami looks into Midoriya, saying, "Midoriya, is that you?" As immediately Izuku doesn't answer, he just looks left and right before Togami, using Dark Shadow, grabs the fish and just slaps Midoriya's face with it, which cancelled out his dark form. As Izuku said, "Ouch, what was that for?" As Togami said, "Oh, so still you, thank God." As Izuku said, "Yeah, I think I managed to get more power." As he said, "Good job." As he was waiting for Midoriya to give him a high five, so Midoriya was about to high five him with his right arm, but when he looks, his right arm is not the same. As Togami looks into it saying, "What happened?" As Izuku said, "Well," as Ibara said, "You sold your body for the devil?" As Izuku said, "Wait, what does Ibara do here?" As Togami said, "She tried to stop the ritual." As Ibara said, "You sold your body? Do you have any idea what kind of stupid thing you just did?" As Izuku said, "Ibara, please, As she said, "You are crazy. I don't understand what are you trying to do? Selling your body? Are you that desperate?" As after a while, finally somebody comes into the cave to, after the commotion, being Aizawa saying, "Alright, what's going on here?" As Ibara said, "Those two were trying to summon a demon." As Aizawa said, "Wait, what?" As he looks around the place saying, "Seriously? I knew this wouldn't be a good idea. I thought that you two were training and you Tokuyami trying to help Midori to awaken his quirk, but instead I find you two just playing with the rituals." As Ibara said, "They weren't playing, they were really gonna summon." As Aizawa said, "Please, Ibara, return with the rest of your class and continue your training." As she just looks into Midori and Tokuyami before she just walks away. As Aizawa said, "As for you two, when I thought that Tokuyami said he knows a way to help you upgrade your quirk or awaken it, I didn't know that you were two just gonna try to do some stupid thing like this." As Izuku just shows him his arm and Aizawa said, "What happened to you?" As Tokuyami said, "I believe we managed to awaken Midoriya's quirk." As Aizawa said, "Really now? Well, let's see if that actually makes a difference. Come on." As Izuku goes with Aizawa, before Tokuyami said, if you wouldn't mind, I would like to also come to see what Midoriya would do." As Aizawa agrees. As, well, both of them go out, Aizawa gives the plant back to Midoriya, the dead plant. As he said, "Alright, try healing it." As Izuku take a deep breath and said, "Heal." As the plant didn't heal. It didn't do anything. As Izuku said, "What?" As Aizawa looks down saying, "Damn it." As Izuku says, "Wait, let me try again. Heal. Heal. Recover. Regenerate. Heal wounds. Injury. Anything." As Aizawa said, "That's enough, Midoriya." As Izuku said, but... As he said, "Well, I guess that wasn't helpful at all. Well, let's continue our training like normal." As Izuku just looks down, while Tokuyami looks down too, saying, "I'm sorry, seeing that what I did wasn't..." As Izuku said, "No, don't blame yourself. You just tried to help me. I agreed, I accepted your help, and it's not your fault. It's his fault." As Tokuyami said, "Whose fault?" As Izuku said, "The devil. He told me that I'm an idiot for believing. But I was just so desperate, As Tokuyami said, "It's always like this. You're just so desperate, and they are using it. Your depression, your hopelessness. All of these are what the devil feeds out of. And when you're at your most lowest point, he's there to give you a hand that will only gonna bring you further down. But I'm sorry that you had to sell a part of your body for that." As Izuku said, "Don't worry about it, Tokuyami. It doesn't feel different at all. In fact," as a couple of mouths open in his arm saying, "I feel like I actually got stronger. Maybe I can't heal Todoroki yet, but I'll make sure to get even stronger eventually. I'll make this power my own, in a way or another." And this will leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.